Let's pull this puppy up. Um, Welcome to the world of Rex. It's Marvel Rex. I am here today to be talking with y'all about the weekly energy for February 19th to the 25th of 2024. I'm calling this the real Valentine's Day. I think that we got it a week late this year. Last week with the Mars Pluto conjunction in Aquarius, I don't know, kind of like hot but scary. And there's a lot more lovely, sweet baby making energy in the sky. We have a full moon, so there's always a little bit more like spice in a full moon week. And Venus and Mars come together, and they are the lovers in the zodiac. So Mars and Venus are considered mythologically to be lovers in Greek myth and Roman myth. We've got these two gods that want to come together and make a baby. They do that this week, the week, yes, after Valentine's Day. So maybe some people last week were like, "Oh, this started out kind of interesting and funky and weird, and then this week maybe it gets really juicy." Or last week was a wash. You're trying something new this week. There's a lot more sexy energy, is what I want to say. Before we dive into how hot this week is and full throttle because it's a full moon week, you can always book a reading with me. The link is in the show notes. I would love to connect with you one on one. There is also a February Valentine's special. It's all month. You get $15 off love or synastry readings. That's a reading between two people. So you can kind of play it how you want to play it. If it's between you and a lover, prospective lover, if it's about your own love language, as long as love is the theme, I am here to do it with you. So you can book a reading in the show notes. That is the easy way to do it. You can always subscribe to the newsletter as well. People love the newsletter. Okay. It's a fan favorite, so check it out. Link is also there. All right. Let's talk about the week ahead. So February 19th to the 25th of 2024, I did a few episodes back a special PSA about February. And one thing I want to say about the month in general to keep in mind as an undertow is that there's a lot of deaths and rebirths happening this month, kind of at a rapid clip, because all of these planets in Aquarius are undergoing the Pluto initiation. So to enter the sign of Aquarius, they have to talk to Pluto. He's at the gates and he's like, "You have to change. You have to die to wake up." And Mercury, Venus, and Mars have all done that now as we enter this week. And it's just really intense. Like it's just a feeling. If you're feeling right now as you're listening to this, like, wow, it's been a hell of a month already and we're not done with it, then yeah, you're right on time. This is exactly what's happening. Lots of letting go, changing behaviors, experimenting with new modes of doing. That's a big part of what we're working with right now. Out of the box thinking is very much the name of Aquarius's game. So we want to be thinking experimentally. However, that always affects our nervous systems in ways that are super challenging. So I just want to say if you're feeling very challenged or like you're having anxiety or, heart palpitations, um, any kind of honestly, anything that you deal with that is a sign for you that you're stressed, you can thank Uranus and Taurus and you can thank all this Aquarius energy because it's majorly active right now. Let's start with Monday. What's going on? We have the sun entering Pisces. La la la. This is a different energy. We're so excited. So Pisces season officially starts on Monday and it becomes Saturn's game. And what do I mean by Saturn's game? Saturn has been sitting in Pisces, mostly being pretty supportive. Like he's just been chilling and he's like, I'm helping people lose, get sober. He's really helping with sobriety. He's really helping people turn to spirituality or religion or yoga, meditation. He's really into heart opening and collective compassion. on a global level, he has caused a lot of issues in terms of Pisces rules foreign lands. Saturn can be like deep karma that has to be worked out in foreign lands. So at least from the US perspective, we've been watching stuff going on in the Middle East. So on a collective level, he's not so nice, but he's also asking us to transform things or put work into things that are no longer working. That's part of the sobriety thing. That can apply to countries. You know what I mean? Like sobriety can apply to countries. So because the sun enters Pisces, which is where Saturn's sitting, the sun is now going to be like with Saturn for a bit. And so we need to be thinking about all of the Saturnian things that he's doing in Pisces. So one of the life hacks that I can just put up right at the top of the week is really developing a deeper sense of compassion for others, asking yourself about the love that you give to others. It does come back to you in other ways. So knowing that good deeds like don't go wasted, like that's right. Like you're building up karmic brownie points here. Being of service emotionally or philanthropically is a way to align with this energy. Diving into artistic modes of being is like wonderful because everyone gets a little bit more sensitive during Pisces season, and it's a wonderful way to transmute your emotions by diving into a collage or a collaborative art project, getting on stage. I am a Pisces sun and I'm always on stage. So it's one way to transmute all of the sensitive emotions that Pisces is pulling in. And, you know, meditating and yoga and prayer is also a way to feel connected to a larger fabric of being, which is Pisces' game. Pisces likes to feel connected to the whole world. This is a wonderful period of time. I really like this. It's going to be different next year, but I like this year because Pisces season is happening like right before eclipse season. So, what is Pisces all about on an archetypal level? Retreat, rejuvenation, healing, preparing through storing up emotional resources before this massive eclipse season that's happening in Aries. It starts like March 25th, technically, but you're going to start to feel the energy by late Pisces season. So, like March 10th, March 15th, we're going to start to feel this energy in a massive way. So we want to find ways to self-soothe, take care of ourselves, but also develop love, loving action towards other people and towards any sort of thing that we feel spiritually aligned with. So this can be volunteering at your local place of worship. This can be um, volunteering your time in any capacity to people. This is part of my work. I'm Jewish. Part of my work is to always give back, tzedakah, and you can give back in ways that are financial, but you can also give back in ways that are giving your time or giving your services up. So I do a certain amount of free readings a year, and that's part of my way of being of service in the Pisces way. Pisces is very martyr energy. It's associated with Christ in a lot of ways, but just like doing the thing to love other people, doing the thing, not expecting anything back, but just knowing that the universe has your back. So that's Monday. Sun enters Pisces. If you are a Pisces sun, this is going to be your birthday season, exciting, or Pisces rising. This is a moment of rebirth for you. For most of us, however, it's a time to really get in touch with how we nurture ourselves and also how we are of service to others from a spiritual and emotional place. So it's both of those things. I want to balance that out. You may need to retreat during this time to feel some feelings as well. It's a wonderful way to harness the energies of Pisces. On Tuesday, I like to call this the real Valentine's Day. The lovers, Mars and Venus, meet at 5 degrees of Aquarius. So this is really sexy. I love this. I want you all to think back to July and August and September of last year, 2023, because Mars and Venus, especially in July, what was going on in July 2023 in terms of some kind of opportunity that you were trying to get together or something you really wanted to do, usually having to do with either creative or libidinal energies, feeling secure and sustained through drive, through getting things done. There was something that was trying to get born, like trying to be born, rather, trying to be born or birthed in July of 2023, and it didn't happen. So there was like Oh, I can't move forward in this part of my life. If you know the Aquarius part of your chart, you may know where this was, rather the Leo part of your chart, you may know where this was happening for you. Now, and the reason I should actually explain, back in July, Venus was trying to catch up with Mars. She was trying to catch up with him to copulate. This is the whole point. The lovers come together and they have a baby. Venus was like, Mars, baby, I want you. And Mars was like, I'm moving. And he just like scooted out of Leo and scooted into Virgo and was like, I'm busy. I don't really care. And Venus went retrograde and she couldn't quite catch up with Mars. So they never had the baby. This can be a literal baby for some people or a proverbial baby. Really, for a lot of us, it's like the thing we wanted to get to make happen. And it didn't happen. This is their moment. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, which is when Mars and Venus finally come together. Mars does not run away, Venus does not run away. They come together at 5 degrees of Aquarius. And this often, depending on where the Aquarius part of your chart is, it often brings opportunities in love, money, career advancement, some kind of action or behavior that is like bona fide. Because Mars is being bona fide by Venus, aka she's helping Mars get something done, and he's also fulfilling one of her needs, right? Like she's feeling the love and she's giving him love. So it's a wonderful. I have this in my chart actually almost at the exact degrees that this is happening. I have Venus and Mars conjunct in my chart. It's someone who usually embodies both male and female aspects, like an androgynous person or someone who has a very strong masculine and a very strong feminine. There's an androgynous synergy here that's really, really beautiful and can get a lot of stuff done. Let me tell you, I have this in my chart. I get a lot of stuff done in a day. So we are going to feel this energy building, but then on Tuesday it perfects, and we're going to feel it for like we're going to feel it for a while. The energy is going to be resonating for a while, but you really want to take advantage of this week, particularly in terms of going forth on some of your plans, knowing that there's good luck, that Venus is bonifying Mars. There's good luck associated with your behaviors, particularly if you're trying to birth something that you really wanted to get done in July. You were like, I wanted that to happen, didn't happen. I've been working really hard, nothing's happening. This is a week to remember what you've been trying to birth, maybe even before July, but it came up in July. How can we get that going off the ground? Now there's really workable star energy in the universe above to get something going, creating something great. Some of the goals here are starting a new relationship. So this is a great time to connect with people to get your goals met, right? Venus is relationships. Mars is getting stuff done. So making new relationships, literally to get stuff done. Goals is to channel your creative or sexual energy. So some goals to have. I'm going to direct my sexual energy or direct my creative energy. They're the same thing. The libido is creative, whatever. It's like channel the zhuzh that comes out of your body to start something and to focus. Aquarius is a fixed sign, so it's like mental focus and like really going down the tunnel vision to get something birthed, to get something created, to be very present in creating something. And then, if that feels really good and you're like, oh, I got all the energy out, great. If you still have some extra energy, because look, I live with this aspect of my chart. I have a lot of energy. You can also burn it off with physical like exertion. So, I work out a lot. I have to. It's part of my mental health program. Like if I don't, when you have Mars Venus together, there's a lot of sexual energy, but there's also a lot of physical extra physical energy in the body. So you may need to burn it off either through sexuality, which is great, or physical activities like sports, even healthy competition, but like in a friendly way because Venus is there. So she doesn't want to just like destroy the opponent. She's like, let's like play, frisbee golf and have a good time. So other things is that, in the realm of love and dating, your sex appeal and interest in romance can get a really big boost from Venus. So this is lovely. Charisma. This is insane charisma. I'm just gonna stop talking about myself, but I live with it. Yeah, you can be very charismatic, kind of anything you do. You can make time during this period of time really to connect with people would be my big piece of advice. Connect with people, make more time for activities. Maybe if you're going to connect with somebody, make it physical, aka it could be like a sexy date, but it could also be like a work meeting, but maybe you go for a walk, right? You're moving. That's really good with this energy. like moving. Maybe you go out and have a couple drinks with friends and then you go dancing. You could take, you could invite maybe a, a business partner or a prospective business partner to like go mini golfing. I don't know. I'm coming up with ideas that are physical things you can do. Yoga, great. You can also add flair and flourish to your wardrobe so you can really like pull up some cool items and dress with Aquarius. It can be experimental. You can cut your hair in a different way. All of the planets are moving direct right now. So like I'm kind of telling people like full steam ahead. Like if you want to dye your hair purple and cut it in a different way, try it out. It's the age of Aquarius. Like go for it. Um, I would say the one thing that can happen, this is something I deeply relate to, is that because there's so much energy, you can miss important pieces of information because you're like, I'm moving on. Oh, I checked that off the list and now I'm moving on and I have 18 other things to do. Slow down because this energy, if you're speeding through things, you can actually miss key information. You can become impatient. You can like have it's like the desire can bubble over. So just be mindful that you're taking time in the day to breathe, slow down. Like, look, I meditate. I have to meditate. I have this energy in my chart. I have to meditate. So if you need to take some time to stop and breathe, I highly, highly recommend that. In Aquarius overall, this energy is aimed. So this charismatic, sexy, virile energy is aimed at groups, friendships, like friends with benefits totally falls under this. Technology can be utilized in genius ways at this time. Social media can be used at genius ways during this time. And looking at systems and thinking, when you're looking at systems and structures, thinking, how can everyone win here? Right? Aquarius is like, let's hack this so that everyone can win. Everyone can experience some benefit from this. I wanted to read the Sabian symbol, which is a channeled message associated with each degree of the zodiac. I'm going to read the Sabian symbol for Aquarius 6 degrees. You always round up a degree. I kind of liked it, so I was like, I'm going to include it. A performer of a mystery play. This is so interesting. It's so interesting because I just did my PSA on February. I just recorded it. It's been out for a couple weeks. So you can go back and listen to my bonus episode on February 2024. But I do think it's a mystery play. February is like there's not a lot of answers. There's a lot of death and rebirth. There's a lot of awkwardness. We don't really know where we're going. There's a new paradigm, but then there's like an old paradigm, and a lot of us are very loyal to the old paradigm, even if we want the new paradigm. Like, how confusing is that? We're loyal to the thing. It's called Stockholm syndrome. There's a phrase for it. So it's a mystery play. And I love that Venus and Mars are making a baby that is a performer of a mystery play, something that we don't quite understand yet. And here's a deeper description of it. It says, our roles as agencies of higher forces. Not only do we live out our human lives in simple workaday ways, but we also serve the function of bringing higher mysteries to Earth. Another phrase associated with the Sabian symbol is channeling ancient archetypes in our own unique fashion. So there's already something here about channeling ancient like medicine or channeling ancient technologies or tapping into your own ancestry, calling on spirit guides, calling on the ghosts in your life, maybe even your grandparents that are no longer here, but like binding yourself to ancient wisdom. You know, for me as a Jewish person, like reading the Torah, which is an ancient text. So it can be as literal as reading ancient texts or going in and acting out old rituals. I'm going to read a little bit about this. So, bear with me because I'm reading. But today we still see acted out the old rituals that bind a group into awareness of ancient archetypes, from Mardi Gras to Easter parades, Father Christmas to Halloween pumpkin monsters. So, right, we have all these symbols. They're tied to ancient stories. We just kind of play them out. We're like, oh, yeah, it's Halloween, got to carve the pumpkin. We don't think about what it means or where it comes from. And they continue to say this is because they provide an essential method to raise individuals out of personality and into a collective group consciousness. It is how we learn to surrender self. So we surrender our ego to transpersonal realities. with the attendant remembering of the awareness of our larger responsibilities. So this can be a moment during this week, maybe, to tap into ancient knowledge, even your ancestral knowledge, tap into maybe gods or goddesses or God, God, and channel something there where you're feeling more connected. This is also very Pisces. So feeling very connected and in touch with God or gods, using those archetypes. The planets are archetypes, so you can align yourself with Mars and Venus, right? The divine warrior and the divine lover. Um, just remembering, I think part of it is to get a little transpersonal with it. So we do have a self. We have like an individual self, and it's small enough to be squeezed into like a little body, but then it's vast in ways that are interplaying and interchanging with all other things. We are vast. Who we are is vast and unique. We are literally multiplicities. There are so many personalities within each and every one of us. We like to make it just one because it's easier. It's easier to be like, I'm just a singular person. This is me. And there's all these other little details that make it a little bit more complicated and make it that there's maybe a couple different selves inside of the one self, like a Russian doll. Now, the performer at a mystery play is kind of being comfortable with being like, we don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. And this is very this moment because tomorrow is when we're fully in the age of Aquarius in 2025, and particularly in 2026 when all the outer planets move into new signs. So, yeah, we're in a mystery play right now, but we can tap into like ancient, I think even DNA, like tap into our DNA, tap into ancient rituals and practices, anything that spurs you. Because with Mars, it's about what gets me excited. So if Roman mythology gets you really excited, dive into that. You know, if you're really into like, I don't know, I'm thinking for some reason Dungeons and Dragons, like there are archetypes in that. There are archetypes in everything that you can find. Astrology has, I mean, literally powerful archetypes. And I use that medicine, it's called archetypal magic, to ground myself and remember that I am attached to everybody. I am interlaced with everybody. And what's happening to me is also happening to everyone else. And that's very much Pisces. And that's very much being like, okay, I'm a performer in a mystery play. All the world's a stage. We don't really know. The great mystery is always unfolding. So with this, there is an active component, which is the performer is performing. So thinking about dancing, the dance of life, channeling a deity, like literally embodying in a ritualistic way some archetype that you're associating with, even if it's an animal, spirit animal, whatever. So some of the words I wrote: juicy, creative, experimental, action oriented, heretical in Aquarius. So heretical means breaking the rules. So if you feel like breaking the rules this week, Mars and Venus are like, they're making love up here, up in the sky. And they're like, yeah, get it. They like turn, they're like, yeah, get it, get it, get it. So break some rules. And by the way, like rule breaking is awesome. As someone who's got this aspect in his chart, it's not always easy, but it's awesome. I'm going to go through each of the 12 signs right now and talk about each of the 12 signs through this transit. So it's very quick, very brief. What is Venus and Mars coming together for each of the 12 signs? I would listen to your sun and rising. We're going to start with Aries. So Aries, this is your 11th house. Very interesting. A friend becomes a lover becomes a friend. Is there a new business opportunity or networking connection that you make either through social media or in IRL, but it has like lots of workable energy? It really empowers you as an individual. You're like feeling really good. You're like, yes, I'm making some kind of cha-ching. It could be financial or just creative cha-ching, like an opportunity popping up because you're being very charismatic through friends, networks, collaborators, social media. So keep that in mind. Also, Aries, you could have a breakthrough with technology that brings in likely either income or a love opportunity. We'll see. Taurus. So, Taurus, this is happening in your career part of the chart. This is awesome for Tauruses. Like, y'all needed it. Y'all needed it. It's been kind of rough with Uranus there. So, something juicy is happening in the career zone for Tauruses or the marriage house. So, this can also be positive healing with a marriage partner. or you're actually tying the knot. This is also a pregnancy aspect for my Tauruses. So you might want to be really mindful. If you want a baby, that's great. If you don't want a baby, watch out. Uh, you can also experiment, Taurus, with your public persona during this time or your career, taking some risks, taking some risks, also trying new things with a marriage partner. That's the Aquarius part, is being very experimental in career and marriage, marriage slash your official boo sectors. Gemini, lovely. Love this for the air signs. Gemini, this is awesome. You're getting it looks like there's a project in writing, marketing, media, teaching, journalism. Also could be foreign travel and foreign lands, but you're having some kind of breakthrough where you're either traveling externally through the world and running into a lover, it could be happening, or a foreigner that you're like, "Ooh, I love their accent." Or you are birthing a project that is marketing or media, like it's you're disseminating information, which is you love to do. Gemini loves to disseminate information. So it looks like there's very positive some sort of unfolding happening in the realms of higher education, foreign travel, marketing, media, publishing. Looks really good for the Geminis. You're just going to boost your self-esteem a lot. Cancer is Cancer. This is your eighth house. Are you letting intimacy in, my Cancers? Do you need to experiment a little bit in the bedroom? Are you opening up sexually? Is it kind of scary? Cancers are like, I don't know. I'm going back into my crab shell. There can be a lot here. It's positive in a lot of ways, but I do think because it's the eighth house, you do, and do I know this? You have to be ready for shadow work. So it's like, what are my fears? And getting really clear. Venus is coming in and saying, hey, baby, it's okay. It's okay that you're afraid of that, but we need to have a little fun with it. Like, can we lean in? Can we lean into the thing we're afraid of? Can we make it a joke with our partner? Be like, I'm afraid of this thing. Like, let's talk about it in a weird accent, like make it a joke, have fun. Venus is here bonifying it. So it's like we need to create some lubrication around our fears or our shadow work. It also can create on a financial level, because this is a financial house. Shared resources with a partner can come up, slash any passive income that you earn, assets, whether they are tangible, fungible assets or digital assets, can come into play here, usually in a positive way where like both parties are benefiting or your passive income is benefiting. You may think about diversifying or becoming even more experimental with your assets. Cancer risings tend to be experimental with their assets because Aquarius is experimental and your eighth house of passive income is in an experimental sign. So maybe you're just taking it a step further in terms of how you earn passive income or get grants or loans. Leos, oh my gosh, my Leo risings and suns. This is intense. It's very sexy for you guys because this is the opposite sign that you're having this in. So very creative and sexual, uh, like breakthroughs, big, very sexy. Like you're succeeding. Be open to trying something new or trying like putting yourself out there, but in a new way, maybe a more vulnerable way, maybe being a little wacky and quirky and owning the parts of yourself that are weird instead of just trying to be palatable for everybody, being like, I'm kind of weird. Like, that's who I am. And this is me. This is me, like capital M-E, not me performing me, but this is actually me. So trying something out of the box with how you're putting yourself out there can really pay off in one-on-one contacts, like creating business partnerships or romantic partnerships, but also your audience, seventh house's audience. So putting yourself out there to your audience in a way that is unique, more authentic, and feels more liberating to you, feels more free. It could be scary, and that's okay. It's very vulnerable here, Leo. But the more authentic you are, the more that you're going to benefit from this, either financially or sexually or creatively, or all three. All right, my Virgos, this is about your daily routines, health, and pets. So you're being asked to switch it up, try something new in either the health, daily routine, or pet storylines. You can revamp your daily routines. You can revamp what you're doing on a daily basis, maybe start a new job during this period of time. If you do start a new job, it is bona fide. There's something about it that's like ready to be birthed. It's working, at least for now. Make sure that it feels like you're leaving your comfort zone a little bit. All right. I know that Virgos like to have their cross their eye, cross their T's, dot their I's. They're all like, Marvel, you do not cross your eyes. I know. Uh, but this is a wonderful time to be experimental with how you get your to-do list done, Virgo. So take care of all the details, but try something new. And it could be technological or it could be something that is considered taboo or heretical. Be open to that during this time. It'll pay off. And your day might be, you're not your day, but your daily routine could be upgraded in a major way after this period of time. Libra, this is lovely because you're an air sign, just like Gemini. This is in your sexy fifth house. Libra, sun, and Libra risings. This is like joy, pleasure, creative pursuits, children, pregnancy, experimental things. Like, wow. Ooh, experimental things in pleasure is what I mean to say. So, like, how do you find joy, Libra? And maybe tapping into your networks and your friends. This is very sexy. This is definitely like friends with benefit situation, or like you love somebody as a friend, but you're like, let's try this physically. Totally there. Be careful because it's a strong pregnancy aspect if that applies to you. But creative pursuits in general, pleasure, joy, this is bona fide during this time. So put yourself out there and connect with people. You tend to, air signs tend to be social. So I'm not super concerned that you won't be social, but this is a lovely time to connect with your groups and tribes. You may join a new group of people, or you may, if you're an artist or a creative, or if you end up on stage, you can give a hell of a performance. This is awesome performer at a mystery play. All right, Libras. Okay, Scorpio. This is happening in your fourth house, home, family, lineage, roots. Venus and Mars are coming together and bonifying, giving a new storyline here. This could be a new family member, could also be a baby, seriously, just like Libras, or you're moving. You might be moving during this period of time, or redecorating, renovating your house. Very possible here. There could be some career stuff that's affecting the home space, but it's probably in like a helpful way. You're feeling good about it. You're ruled by Mars, so Mars is getting bonified by Venus. So it's like it looks financial. Like there could be some good financial stuff. Maybe you work from home or you get a job where you can work remotely. This will be extra helpful during this time. It's positive. There could be on a deep level for Scorpios, because I know you guys love the psychological stuff. You're very psychological as a Scorpio. This could be some deep ancestral healing, family trauma healing, forgiving a family member, or reconnecting with a family member in a way that feels so good and necessary. So that is happening. And then we are going to be moving on to Sagittarius. We've got communication on the docket, my Sages. So this is very important because the shadow side of your sign is just tunnel vision dogma. Like this is the only truth, capital T, and everyone else is wrong. I love this transit for y'all, Sagittarius, because this is a positive reinforcement of like, oh, maybe I don't know the whole truth. Maybe I'm going to learn some new stuff. Maybe my communication's really opening up and I'm feeling so much more free. Cause like, let me say something. When you're holding on to a singular truth, it causes a lot of tension in the body. When you're like, I'm right and everyone's wrong, it actually affects your nervous system. They did studies on this. They did studies on this with, I believe it was, I don't know if it was bonobos or if it was chimpanzees, but they did a study on a certain primate group where there was alpha males, and the alpha males they had command, right? They were the ones who like spoke the truth of the tribe. They were like, I'm in charge. I know what's happening. I'm right. They lived far shorter lives than the betas. So the alphas they had to constantly exert that they were right. They had to constantly be in control, and they died quick. So what I'm telling y'all, Sag, not to get super morbid here, is that you're learning during this transit to be more open to other people and learning from them. And you're going to feel like, oh, this is liberating. Like I don't always have to be holding the big stick. I don't always have to be right. You could get paid during this period of time to speak, to orate, to tell a story. There could be a writing or media project that comes up. It's good to get out there and collaborate with people, learn from people. You can also benefit from your local neighborhood or your siblings. So just keep in mind that that's possible. The third house rules all of those things, which is where this is happening. But for Sagittarius's overall, your communication is getting a bolster and a boost. You need this. Like it's about learning experimental ways to communicate, or new ways to communicate with people where you get to learn as well. You're not just always teaching. So I think this is really positive. You could also just be making money in your local neighborhood, like very literally. Okay, Capricorn, finances. This is happening in your second house. I am living for this for you guys. This is lovely. We love to have Mars and Venus come together in the second house. This is like a new job or a new paycheck coming in. It's likely from technology, social media, or just some sort of experimental situation, could be connected to large groups, tech, etc. You're cashing it in, Cap. I love this for you. You love money, so I'm like, get it. Really great, but it might involve you leaving your comfort zone or taking on a job that you're like, oh, I don't know how to use that digital technology yet. Capricorn, go for it. Stretch your comfort zone here. You're going to land on top. You're going to land feet first. This is very positive. If you're leaving your comfort zone, I would say even better, even better. There's some money coming in and self esteem as well. Aquarius, Aquarius, this is your house of identity. Aquarius, robot alien identity. Uh, love you guys. I have a lot of Aquarius. So something inside you is birthing, Aquarius. It literally, the lovers are coming together inside of you. This is also a pregnancy aspect, so just be careful. But it's like I wrote shadow work, but it looks so good on you. You are getting stronger. um, what is that SNL? What's that SNL skit where he's like, I'm strong enough and people like me? I can't remember, but this is it. You're looking in the mirror, talking to yourself, being like, I am awesome. I'm so good. So something about your self-esteem is getting a boost here. Again, on a very literal note, if you are someone who can get pregnant and you engage in that kind of stuff, be careful. Or unless you want it, also awesome. But there's a lot of sexual and creative energy inside of you at this time. So channel it accordingly. Have that fixed Aquarius vision. What do you want to make happen? You have so much available sexual and charismatic and creative energy. Go for it. Send the cold email. Go to the new group. Put yourself out there. Make sure you're following through on your authentic desire and try something new. That's Aquarius. I mean, you are an Aquarius, so just do something weird. Pisces, finally, there is mystical union happening for you. This is all happening in your 12th house of behind the scenes projects, foreign shores, secrets, things that people don't know about. So it's happening behind the scenes, but it's positive. So this is really good for Pisces for mental health. So I just want you to know, like, if you've been having some mental health stuff, this can be a positive boost in the right direction. Maybe there's a breakthrough. You've tried something new and you're like, oh, that really works. It's a really great time to add a spiritual ritual to your daily routine. It'll upgrade your energy levels like 1,000%. You're going to feel great. Maybe you go to a new place of worship. But for Pisces, it's about thinking about what you do in private and whether it's serving you. Mars and Venus come in and say, let's try this new weird thing. I think it's going to work. So whatever is intuitively coming for you, Pisces, think about it coming in around behind the scenes stuff. You could also literally be working on a project that is behind the scenes, that is hidden from view, and you may come out with it maybe during Leo season. This full moon is happening in Virgo, so maybe it's happening on the new moon in Virgo that you're going to come out with a behind the scenes project. It's okay if you're tucked away at work. There's something really auspicious about it. So it's great. Take some time to rest as well. Pisces. Oh, final thing for Pisces, write your dreams down. Your dreams are very helpful during this week. All right. I wanted to offer a song for this week. And that what came up for me was I was like, who's kind of like naughty and nice and weird and completely herself? And it's so funny because I didn't even like think about the full moon in Virgo and she's a Virgo. And I watched her documentary while the moon was full in Virgo a couple years ago. And I was like, oh, of course. You know I'm no good. Amy Winehouse. The whole Back to Black album is perfect for this energy. It's about love, it's about war. She's just Amy Winehouse is like 100% herself, like good, bad, the ugly. Her voice is that of an angel, and also she lived like a really intense Martian life. By Martian I mean Mars. She lived a life that was hot, quick, and fast, and was over. So, listening to Amy Winehouse really is aligned with these energies. She embodies a lot of that authentic Aquarius experience of just like, I'm a fucking weirdo and I'm completely myself and I'm not performing for anybody, but I am performing, but not for anybody. I'm performing for myself. So, that would I recommend. I love the song, I'm no good, but anything from the Back to Black album is lovely for this energy. And then Saturday comes along. So Monday, Tuesday, hot, hot. And then we're riding the wave of the lovers copulating all the way into Saturday, February 24th. There's a full moon in Virgo. and Amy is a Virgo sun. We also have Mercury combust and close to Saturn. This is so fucking intense. This is a long episode, I have to say, y'all. Ooh, this is so intense. Okay. So this is a little bit of a reality check because we're really close to Saturn. Also, full moon in Virgo can create a little bit of neuroses. There can be a little bit of like, I need to figure everything out right now, and I need to cross every box off on my to-do list, and it can feel a little overwhelming. The way to channel this energy is to choose a few things that you know you can get done and do them really well and take it seriously because Saturn's there. I would focus on group goals and less on opinions. That's the shadow of Virgo, is like having an opinion about everything, nitpicking people, being like, are you sure that that really worked? Doesn't matter. Is like, is it going to get the point? Are we going to get the solution going? Is the real question. Does it really need to be said? Is another thing I wrote. So slowing down and only communicating what is absolutely necessary. Um, Mercury is in Pisces, which can make this very hard. I'm going to be honest. Mercury in Pisces can get really focused in, like, if especially if feelings get hurt, Mercury in Pisces can be like, I just want to talk in circles about how hurt I am. So slow it down, only communicate what's necessary, focus on work, team, goals, cleaning your house. Lovely thing to do with Moon and Virgo is just clean your house and take a mental health break. I also really like to dive into fantasy, like TV shows and novels during Pisces Virgo activations. You know, you get to escape. You just get to go watch Lord of the Rings or whatever, Harry Potter, completely mindless. You don't need to do it for like 8 hours. You can just do it for the hour and a half that the movie is and then go and get your to-do list done. But it's nice to take a break and unplug. You don't need to have opinions about anything during that period of time. During this time, people who are not into astrology, who do not know that this is happening, may be overcritical, may be rude during this time. So, some of the magic words to say when someone is really being rude out of nowhere, the magic words, you can just pull them aside privately and go, hey, are you okay? Something going on? You want to talk about it? Like from a very genuine place, like, are you okay? And then they either can open up and be vulnerable, or they can be like, I'm fine, I'm good. And then it's like, okay, but you, at least they'll probably stop, because what you're doing when you're saying are you okay is you're forcing them to sit with the fact that their behavior is different than normal. And then they usually either tell you what's going on, or they usually kind of back up and are like, oh, I'm being a lot, even if they don't want to admit it in that moment. So that's some magic words to use. Are you okay? Overall, the moon is just telling us to be productive, organized, clean your house, get everything categorized, take a little bit of a mental health break. You know, sometimes cleaning the house is extremely meditative. For me, it is actually extremely meditative to clean the house. So that's a lovely thing to do. Uh, you don't want to get caught up in procrastination during this time. So if that feels like something you deal with, it's important to just make a decision and move forward. Just move forward. You do not want to be critical towards others during this time, or to yourself. Not helpful. That's what the moon, that's like the trick of the moon, is trying to get us to be overly opinionated or critical. And with Saturn there, it's like let go and let God. This is all in Pisces. Like let go and let God. It's important to get relatively detached in this. It's going to be hard, but it's important to do it. Whatever it is, especially if you're getting a goal done, putting your emotions to one side and just moving forward with what needs to get done. As I slam my watch down, what needs to get done? If you're using this energy well, kind of Jedi mind tricking it, this full moon in Virgo can bring high levels of efficiency, high levels of like getting stuff done, productive, and uh, having good conversations, having important conversations. If you feel very emotional during this full moon weekend, I would err away from communicating, because it'll probably come off as really obfuscated with Pisces, so like confusing, or overly critical Virgo. Neither helpful. So, yeah, just be open and see how you can get the goal done. If not, watch some Harry Potter. Just find your favorite fantasy novel, TV show, whatever. I don't know what you want to watch, but just take a break during this weekend. It's a great time to get things, to either get things done or to let things go, but choose one and commit to it, and don't procrastinate around it, is what I would say. All right. That is the week ahead. That was a long episode because I did the 12 signs. I hope that you appreciated that. We're going to be talking next week, February 26th to the March 3rd. We're going to be talking about some major meditation games. So get ready for next week. It's really exciting. Again, if you want to book a reading with me, the link is in the show notes. I'm also on YouTube right now, so you can watch me on YouTube. I'm also on TikTok. Got all the things. It's all linked below. I love each and every one of you. I truly do. It's Marvel Rex here signing off from the world of Rex, and I'll talk to you next week.